I just love the idea, first of all, a dancer working with a musician, two artists coming together. I think that that's a great opportunity.
Dancers do amazing things on stage. It makes me really happy to have that kind of a connection to someone that has motion, and I get to provide the soundtrack to that motion.
He was an artist, and I think there's art in what I do. We are creators at the core. This is what we're meant to do.
It feels liberating and freeing, but also very scary at the same time because it's unknown territory.
I'm Chad Smith, and I do popping, the robot, mechanical movement. I see myself, I guess, like kind of as an illusionist, like I'm trying to make something look like something is happening that's not actually happening.
My name is Paul Date. I'm a musician from Los Angeles, California. Previously, a lot of people know me for hip-hop, violin, R&B vocals, and stuff like that, but lately I've been into a lot of electronic music with an emphasis on vocals and violin.
My inspiration, for some reason or another, I was always drawn to robots. The rudimentary robotics, like kind of glitchy, not perfect and smooth. If I could imitate that, that's what it's all about to me, is the illusion of it. Looking fake, looking unreal, looking inhuman.
I listen to a lot of music and I get a lot of inspiration from that, but other times I'll be walking down the street and see something amazing and that'll inspire me. Last week I went to the aquarium and I stared at jellyfish for half an hour, and that was amazing. There's so many awesome things in the world that inspiration really should be everywhere.
I grew up playing sports. I did like basketball, football, all that stuff, and I didn't dance at all. I was not a dancer. I didn't even know how to two-step or clap on beat, really.
I definitely grew up in a musical household. My sister and I, she played piano and I played violin, and my parents, they would take their entire Saturday and drive us to music school. They probably expected me to become a classical musician.
Senior year, high school, I was doing track and field. I had already pretty much accepted a scholarship to UCLA, and I wanted to do like kind of like a vertical leap training program. I ended up tearing my patella tendon in my left knee and had a knee surgery.
I was raised on the classical tradition since I was 4, and when I turned 18 and I went to college, I realized that I wasn't really making music for myself. I was kind of making music for other people. I rebelled hardcore, and I dropped that major and I switched to jazz.
I've been rehabbing for a while. UCLA still wanted me. I went through with that. I ended up partially tearing my right patella tendon, and then I had to have knee surgery on my right knee and then another on my left. And I was getting really bad grades, I wasn't going to class, kind of losing my way a little bit.
When I switched from classical to jazz, I was really surprised and shocked that a lot of my friends at the time and a lot of the teachers that I had at the time turned their backs on me. And it was a crazy time where I really didn't know what I was gonna do.
The whole time, the track thing started to kind of unravel and fall apart for me. I'm like starting to kind of be around dance and these b-boys. They're taking me to some events, and at the time I thought it was, you know, the craziest thing. It kind of opened up the world of dance to me. Something went off in my head like, oh, I could learn how to do that.
When I switched from classical music to jazz, one of the people that really stuck by me the entire time was my orchestra teacher from high school, James Forward. He stuck by me all the way through, and he encouraged me to just learn as much as I could in the world of jazz. He taught me that music is music is music, and as long as you're getting better at what you do and you really love what you do, that's all that matters at the end of the day. I wanted to try my hand at writing my own stuff, and the world of jazz definitely encouraged that a lot, to make your own arrangements and to write my own songs and work on my own projects.
I say I'll do whatever I choose to do, yeah, I'll do it my way.
Around 2002, I went to B-Boy Summit. This guy comes out in like this full white suit. His name's Boppin' Andre. I'm seeing someone dance right in front of me, and I'm literally like, I'm not sure if what I'm seeing is real. I couldn't see where like his hits were coming from, like what was causing the illusion. At that moment, that's where I was like, I have to do that. I started practicing all the time. I'd be dancing at work. You know, I bagged groceries for a while and I would like do the robot while I'm doing that. I would just be in a restaurant and randomly I would get up out of nowhere and just become a robot, and it just became habitual training all the time. I was comfortable anywhere doing anything and I was dancing. All I cared about was doing what I loved and like entertaining people.
Stop telephoning me.
Paul Date, he's put kind of a twist on what he does.
Stop telephoning me.
He's really a forward-thinking artist, and I really have loved some of the stuff that I've heard from him.
When I heard I was going to be paired with Mad Chad, I was super pumped and excited. Mad Chad is honestly one of the sickest dancers out there, and I'm really excited to be working with him because, I mean, he's one of the best.
Yeah, I think that his creativity could definitely fuel my creativity, and I'm excited to take on something new and see how we can inspire each other. My initial worry is just that for some reason or other, I'm not gonna like the music that he composes, or he's not gonna like the way that I want to, you know, interpret that. You know, it's not gonna mesh.
To be honest, I am a terrible dancer. I mean, I am super awkward, and I've never really thought of dance in combination with what I do. I've never had a conversation with a dancer about making music and dance at the same time. I've never thought about that before. So I really want to make sure that I bring everything I have to the table.
Hey!
Hey man,
How's it going, man?
how's it going?
Good to see you.
We meet each other and we start chatting, just kind of talking about how we got into what we do. I've heard your stuff, I've heard some of your, you know, seen some of your YouTube videos and stuff like that, so it's kind of an interesting thing to undertake, you know what I mean? Like, you know how to do your thing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's all I know how to do.
yeah, but
I've known of Chad's work for a while, and obviously, you know, he's one of the best at what he does. And so when we met up today, most of the time I just kind of was staring in awe.
Yeah, there's certain movements that like you really need to be tense. Like for example, like hitting. Like doing the stuff where you hit hard.
So you're actually like contracting.
Yeah.
All even up your back and stuff.
My abdomen, pretty much my whole like solar plexus.
I got kind of excited and I pretty much threw my violin at Chad and I was like, play it, because I want to see how it looks when you do the robot stuff with the violin.
That is dope.
Okay.
No, that's cool.
Paul, he's really funny. He has a really good sense of humor. Also, it was surprising to kind of hear his story, some of the choices he made. So originally you're trained classically, and then you start to take this detour. Was that like what did your friends and family and like peers kind of think about that whole like?
Yeah, I lost a lot of friends. So
Yeah.
I was a little surprised when that happened. One of the benefits of having that rebellious process is it shows you what's really important to you and what you really care about. I figured out that music is supposed to make you happy. It's supposed to make your life better. And as long as I work hard to make music that makes me happy, I think that's the right direction to head in. People pass judgment on so many different styles of music, and I can't understand why, because everything takes skill. And you can't judge what you can't do.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think like adding something different and new and original and, you know, changing things up. I think that's what it's really all about. It's all about progression, you know what I mean? And
right. If this is my instrument, if it's meant to enhance my voice, then I should have it say what I want to say.
We're similar in that way because when I started like practicing to do, you know, the robot, pretty much my friends and family were like, what are you doing? Like that's cool and funny and everything, but what are you doing, you know? And it was something that I just felt like I had to do. I found dance and regardless of what everyone was thinking around me, I let it come through and I let it speak, you know? I wasn't a dancer at all growing up. I didn't start dancing at all until I was 18.
Oh, really? So you didn't do any dancing?
No, like nothing, like no dancing.
Ever?
Ever, like whatsoever. And there was never any thought that I was gonna make money with it or anything like that, but I didn't really care. You know what I mean? I just was so enamored with that illusion that I wanted to give that to other people, you know. From there we kind of segued and he started playing for me, playing the violin.
Something like that.
Yeah. And then I wanted to see if he could just kind of play and see if I could improv and kind of harmonize with him, just kind of get a sense of where he was going with it. I really resonated with the kind of the tone of the instrument and some of the stuff that he was playing. A really good emotional android, angst, dark kind of feel that I really liked the direction of.
Being able to meet up with him today and see the kind of motions that he does, it was crazy. The control that he has and how he can really keep calm. And it's very musical, the way that Chad moves. To see how he's interpreting the sounds, and I could really see that whatever I'm playing, he's really translating that into emotion. Okay, so
yeah,
trying to see
all that works. And then he started playing some of the beats, which fulfilled that need that I have for the mechanical kind of sound.
So this is basically the typical pattern, right?
Yeah.
I hope. So we just have the violin, like on top of that. My main concern was making sure the music sounded good, because I've never done this particular style of music before. Stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Chad seems to like the idea so far, so that really makes me feel much better about the whole thing. I hope that translates to this.
Yeah. It's really inspiring and exciting for me to be able to work with Paul. I'm there with him and communicating with him.
I know a lot of the times dancers have to build an interpretation upon what music already exists, but this is a time where I'm lucky to have the chance to be a part of, the whole process from start to finish. Well, there's a part here that everything's on the beat. Mm-hmm. The busy part, there's a lot of syncopation and stuff, and then there's a more broken down part where everything's just kind of on. I don't know if that is not enough motion for you, but...
No, that's fine. I mean, it sounds like to me like that's like a perfect transition, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a little bit of like a dream come true to be able to work with the musician and have them tailor make something for you, and then also be there during the process.
Yeah, I forgot to ask, what kind of story you got in mind for the performance part?
It's kind of like a OCD, schizophrenic kind of concept, but it's like supposed to be kind of based in like the 30s or 40s, so it has like a vintage feel to it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
Working on this project has been new territory for me. Style of music and just working in a totally new world. And Chad, he cares about everything, about how things look, like making sure you're telling a story. There's a narrative and the motion of it too, but also making sure that it complements the music and vice versa. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to the whole performance part of it.
I'm excited to see what two artists from totally different worlds can come together and create. My only, I guess, fears or worries is that my ability to physically embody the music isn't going to be where I want it to be. Paul has his side handled, you know what I mean? Now it's up to me to like really make the performance shine.
Yeah, Harry wants
Let's take this to 25.
Yes. All the preparations came together and we just did the performance. The energy that Chad gives off was just crazy, and I just wanted to make sure I did what I could to match that. This project is definitely going to affect the kind of music I make in the future, especially with all the skills that I've learned. It was more than fun. It was awesome.
The way it felt on stage with all the props and everything, and the smoke and the lighting, it feels great. And you have, the camaraderie and everything on stage. It's like this shared experience that kind of takes it to another level. Seeing that thing we built, all the parts moving together and everything working the way it's supposed to work. Yeah, it's a great experience.